Today we'll be reacting to My Cat Got Me Pregnant. My Story Animated, man. Just let them do them. When was this actually made? Hold up. Never mind. Whatever. I'll check later. Wow. Well, let's get into the video.
My name is Amber, and I'm 19 years old. I want to talk about how my cat ended up causing me to get pregnant. I know that sounds really out there, but I promise you, it makes more sense if you keep listening. It's a bit of a crazy tale, but in the end, I think you'll understand why I made such a preposterous claim. I want to first tell the slightly crazy tale of my mother first, as unfortunate events seem to run in the family. For quite a long time, she was with a man named Jack. She absolutely was in love with Jack ever since high school, and they dated all through high school, and even a few years after that. My mother got a tip from one of her friends, however, that he was seeing someone else on the side. After another tip-off about another woman at his home, she walked in on him with another woman. Needless to say, she dumped him on the spot. Now the friend who tipped her off, his name was Mark. Mark and Jack had been close friends as well, so that was why he was able to find out about him seeing another woman. Mark was very kind to her, and consoled her through the sadness she felt at finding out Jack betrayed her. It wasn't too long before they were both dating instead, Jack long forgotten by both of them. They were together for over 2 years, and they never had any problems together. Neither of them cheated on the other, they never fought or had arguments. It all seemed perfect. It was so perfect, in fact, that they wound up getting married. It seemed like my mother had found the perfect guy after her fallout with her cheating boyfriend. Things were never that perfect, however, and neither of them could have predicted what a jaded lover could do when scorned. Jack had started to plan a way to destroy their relationship in petty jealousness. My mother was at home one day, cleaning and doing other stay-at-home wife duties, when she got a call on her phone. That call was from Jack, and she nearly hung up on him when she heard his voice, but he pleaded with her to listen to him. He told her that he wasn't calling to provoke her, but that his mother had wanted to see her. He made up some story about how his mother was showing early symptoms of dementia and was asking about her, apparently still thinking they were together. It sounds like a pathetic attempt at an excuse to me, but my mother still decided to head over to his house and see. When she arrived at the house and knocked on the door, Jack was the one to answer and let her in the house. Unsurprisingly, Jack's mother didn't appear to be there. When my mother turned to demand what Jack was playing at, he suddenly pushed against her and started to kiss her. After the initial shock factor had passed, my mother shoved him off and slapped him hard across the face. She stormed out of the house after that, fuming and outraged that he had devised such an elaborate plan to get her out to his house. My mother wasn't sure what to do when she got home. She was unsure if she should tell Mark about what had happened or not. Jack hadn't done anything too bad to her, but it was possible he could become a problem in the future. She was still debating on when to tell him about a week later, but then she found out she was pregnant. The whole incident was pushed to the back of her mind as she started making plans with Mark about having a baby. Everything seemed happy again. But then Jack decided to completely destroy their relationship. He sent messages to my father with pictures of him and my mother together. From that day, he pushed himself on her. I guess he had hidden some sort of camera somewhere and taken footage from it, conveniently cutting out the parts where she pushed him away. Mark was upset over this, and my mother desperately tried to explain to him what had really happened. He wouldn't listen to her, though, apparently having already decided that he could no longer trust her. He began to doubt that the baby was even his, which it was, obviously, but he couldn't be reasoned with. My mom was about 5 months pregnant when they got divorced, and I'm sure Jack was so thrilled to hear about that. Still, my mother didn't go back to Jack, because now she despised him for sabotaging her marriage. She decided to stay single and get a job to support herself, refusing to let a man hold her back anymore. She gave birth to me months later, and she was living a stable life with a stable job, able to be a strong single mother. She was a strong female role in my life growing up, and it almost made up for the lack of a father figure in my life. We were happy. I was happy. I never had any siblings in my life, but I did have my cousin. My mother's sister came around a lot after my father left, preaching about how unreliable men were and how she didn't need a man. She always tended to bring her own kid, who was around the same age as I was, so I always saw my cousin as almost like a sibling. as we played together and grew up together. My cousin
Where does this? I'm waiting, guys. I'm waiting. But this is more of me watching than a reaction. First of all, where's the cat at? That got you pregnant. That's my question. Second of all, you know, bro. Oh my gosh. And then this is why I can't stand some unreasonable men. Why did that sound like something I would do though? I'd be like, no, I can't trust you. You gotta go. Bye bye. It's my house. Why? Why am I hating? No, I'm not hating, bro. Hell, I'm gonna get some socks, but I'm gonna still be listening.
was always a great person to be around, and he was always
Yeah,
so
I'm literally
kind
right
and
here.
conscious about me and how I was feeling. Things got a little weird when he told me one day, around the time we were teenagers, that he believed he loved me. I didn't understand at first because, yeah, I loved him too. He was my family, my cousin. But I didn't realize
Going to my dad, so kind of want to get ready because they're gonna be here at 2:29.
he meant
So yeah,
beyond
sorry.
familiar love. I
Yo,
explained
where
to him
does the
that I saw
cat
him
come
like my
from?
brother, and that we were related, so it could never work even if I didn't. I don't think he took it too well, but that was my stance on the matter. Things got tense between us, and we stopped hanging out as much for obvious reasons. I was about 17 when I met Lucas. I met him at the local pet shop.
There we go. There the cat comes. Like I'm saying, like where did the cat come from? Yo, trying to skip.
Where I was picking up some wild bird seed. I enjoyed going down to the park and scattering seeds for the local wildlife, as I found it rather relaxing. He looked so cute with his uniform on and working with the animals. We wound up exchanging numbers, and from then on, it was history. We met up all the time when we were both available, and I just absolutely adored him. He had these little dimples on his cheeks that would appear when he smiled, and I just couldn't resist his charm. When I graduated from high school, he showed up
Betty
after
was
the
ugly.
ceremony and presented me with a little kitten. He was so cute, and the kitten was pretty adorable too. The kitten was a little ginger, scruffy little guy
Yes.
with the sweetest eyes. How could I not just love this man? That's why I said yes when he asked me to marry him, of course. Lucas had aspirations of becoming a veterinarian, unsurprisingly, and I was focused on getting my
I
own
wouldn't be
higher
surprised
education
either.
as well. I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do with my life, but I knew exploring different college courses would help me find my way. It was because of this that we both decided to hold off on having any kids quite yet.
Okay, I thought
We
he was
were
gonna say
also
something else.
pretty
My bad.
young, and we had all the time in the world to settle down and start a family when we were ready.
Respect,
I
respect.
had originally started taking
Respect.
birth control pills, but it turns out the extra estrogen in them caused me to have severe migraines, and my blood pressure shot up. My doctor
well,
wound up taking me
take
off
the
them,
right stuff, you
stating
bum.
he feared I would have a stroke or develop a clot in my lungs. With that preventative out the window, we decided to just stick with the classic rubbers for prevention. They were quite effective anyway, so we thought it would be enough. My cousin had become a prominent issue in my life
Dang, I
after I
feel
got
so
married.
ugly, bro.
He refused to let this
Oh my gosh.
infatuation thing go and harassed me and my husband all the time. He would constantly come over uninvited and cause a scene. Lucas was starting to become upset with me because of it, claiming that our relationship seemed too odd to be just cousins. I was annoyed that he would even think like that, but my cousin did have a weird kind of crush on me. But he should still trust me that nothing was going on. We tended to fight because of my cousin, and I honestly just wished he would just disappear from our lives. I loved him like family, but he was starting to interfere with my happiness and my new marriage. Everything just got worse when I found out I was pregnant. My husband went ballistic, claiming it couldn't be his because we had been using protection. He had the nerve.
So you're telling me you get the same story just like your mom, except it's your cousin this time. And he didn't take any. Okay. This is so unrealistic.
To accuse me of
Where's the
sleeping with my
cat coming
cousin
from?
and getting pregnant that way. I was so upset that he would assume the worst of me that I left the house in tears. My own husband couldn't trust that I wouldn't sleep with my own cousin. What a nightmare. I sat down at the park, where I usually feed the birds, trying to come up with how this could have happened. We had been using protection anytime we were intimate, so how did I wind up pregnant so soon? I kept
The
puzzling over
cat.
this until it was near evening, and I had to go back home. I decided to check the condoms we had. Maybe they had expired or something? When I jumped out the packages to examine them, I noticed little marks on the wrappers. I looked closer at them and saw they appeared to be little teeth.
Get out my room.
I want to say hi.
No, I'm not talking to nobody. Get out my room.
Hi.
You're telling me. I thought, if you seen, I know y'all saw how the screen looked. It was the girl laying down and the cat on her butt like this. I thought the cat actually got her pregnant. Nah, of course they mean this type of pregnant. The cat bit on the thing and now the...
Marks that punctured the wrappers.
This is dumb.
I started to suspect that my cat had jumped on our
Man.
nightstand and chewed them. I couldn't believe this was happening. I was being accused of cheating with my cousin when, in reality, the cat he had gotten me had unintentionally sabotaged our contraceptives. I
Man, the
wanted
cat
to
dumb.
cry,
Shut up.
the absurdity of the circumstances nearly driving me to hysteria. At least I could prove to my husband that it was indeed possible that our contraceptives had failed due to a furry problem. I wound up going to my mother and telling her about everything that had happened. I don't think she quite believed me at first, but I showed her one of the condoms I brought with me, and she seemed to understand this was a very real situation. She was sympathetic with my plight, having gone through a jaded lover, destroying her own marriage. She advised that I forgive Lucas for his outburst and accusations, saying that she didn't want to see our marriage fall apart due to lies, like her own did. I understand that she only has the best in mind for me, but is that really what I should do? My own husband couldn't trust that I wouldn't hop in bed with my own cousin and make a baby when I had explicitly stated I didn't want kids right now. He hadn't even been home since the incident.
Could have been
But I
accident.
was
I don't know.
supposed to just forgive him
Never-
for
yeah, you
all
never
of
know.
that? I do love him, but I don't know how we're...
Wow. Man, these story channels, man, they be really faking, bro. Like, I thought they actually meant, like, the cat got her pregnant. Bro, so I should have known that. Because they've done something like this before, just a different channel. I should have known that's what they meant. Man, like, that was so predictable, bro. Like, how did I... I'm low-key mad for that. Like, how? Anyway, please like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I hope you enjoy.